just a laid back vibe, baby. Straight up. It's just a laid back vibe, baby. Straight up. It's just a laid back vibe, baby. Straight up.
Hey everybody, welcome into another episode of Tommy Bell Art's Sketchy and Funny. I am Tommy Bell. This is an amazing Halloween episode. Right by my side, I've got Mr. Michael Larkin.
What's up? What's up?
Hello, Michael. And today, it's Halloween time, Michael, so I'm working on my new project, my reimagining of The Mummy featuring Jeanne Basone. That's Hollywood from Glow. Everybody knows her. It's amazing. Guess who's in the studio with us, Michael? Hollywood.
Oh, goodness, yes. Welcome, OG Glow. Hello, Hollywood.
Oh, I love it. Hi, Michael. Hi, Tommy. Thank you for having me. Finally, I'm
my
here.
God. This is great. This is, for me, it's a huge, again, I've never been shy about sharing this. It's not even a secret, just the fact that when I was learning how to draw women in high school, and we're going back to the late 80s, everybody, but when Tommy Bell was sitting in art class for 2 years, I would work off a photo reference, and the photo, Jeanne, that's right behind you, that was one of the ones that I drew numerous times.
Do you have any of those sketches from back then? Did you save anything? I know we don't always save all of our stuff, but if you find it, I would put that in my book. You know what? This mummy one, am I allowed? If I give you credit on my autobiography, could we put that in the book?
Yes.
And give you credit?
Absolutely.
I would love it.
So cool. Everybody who's watching this, both of my viewers, check this out. This is super exciting. Sketchy and Funny is kicking off October in the craziest way with having Hollywood on here. With Michael on board, God knows what we're going to talk about, but there's no sense talking about it unless we get into it, get into the work. My famous drawing table is right behind me here, folks. So I'm going to come up and lift the lid on this real quick. There's the photo. And let's take a look at what we are doing.
Put it close in there. Oh, God, you're so good. Wow.
So we're going to take a minute, and I'm going to adjust the camera, and we're going to hop over here to the art table and have a little bit of fun.
Okay, cool.
Hollywood, why don't you tell us about the photographer on this, because you can't do a really good drawing without an outstanding photo that's been taken. So tell me a little bit about the photographer.
That's good. Good question. So my favorite photographer is named Jeanne, and I've been shooting with John for over maybe 30 years, you guys, maybe 25 years. Mm-hmm. Met him through my good friend Laura Bennett, and I saw a photo of her on a card, and I looked at her card and I'm like, oh my God, this is such an awesome photo. The makeup is beautiful, the coloring, everything is really hot. She goes, that's Jeanne. She goes, I'll give you his number. And I shot with him numerous times. And so that photo actually is one of the last shots that we shot. And we were in Oregon when I shot that one. And we were at a Kempton hotel. We got like one of the penthouse suites that had all different colors in it. And I stood against that door. And that was one of my favorite shoots. And Laura was helping out. But John is awesome. He does the makeup as well, which is kind of cool. And sometimes he'll be doing these poses to get you to or stuck in your stomach. You know what I mean? I mean, he's so good, but he doesn't just take the photo. He's doing things like telling you, do this or whatever. I mean, I pretty much can do my own stuff, but then there's other stuff. You don't have a mirror in front of you. You know what I mean? So he's really good at getting the shots, helping you feel comfortable, making these whatever faces we're making, or smiling, not smiling, or, and I played music in the background during this shoot as well. So John's awesome. I love him. And when he does the makeup, sometimes it's more, sometimes the eyes are bigger or the lips are bigger or the nose. I have somebody who asked me, Hollywood, did you get some plastic surgery? Because that photo doesn't look like you. And I said, that's John. John does a lot of contouring. So when he's contouring down on your nose or your eyes, he just loves bigger and better. I have to sometimes say, a little lighter, do it a little lighter. Because, but it's so fun. But that's glamour photography. So glamour photography can have all of that. And you can have different looks. I don't think there's anything bad about having a photo that may not look exactly like you. I'm not trying to get a movie part,
Right. Exactly. And just, again, echoing exactly what you said, my inspiration comes from seeing a photograph that strikes my eyes, which then strikes my brain. And I go, wow, okay, that's really, and of course, for me, I'm always starved for the amount of detail that I can get in a photo. And you'd sent several over, and this was the one. As soon as I saw this one,
glad you picked that one.
As soon as I saw this one, none of the other ones mattered, because for what I wanted to do, it was spot on. It was perfect. I was like, great.
Love it. Looks, somebody asked me, is that a comic book? When you were starting to post.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, that would be great for a comic. Hollywood versus the Mummy. I turn into the Mummy. I am the Mummy. I don't know. Pretty cool.
Oh, there's so many things you could do. And of course, Hollywood, you already know, with so many numerous Mummy movie sequels out, and with comics very closely marrying that platform, you could it could spawn a whole, you've got thing. The Revenge of the Mummy, the Return of the Mummy, and the next
the Mummy's fight
forever.
The Mummy's date, or I don't know.
Oh yeah, you could go off on all kinds of tangents. That's
I love Mummy. Oh my God.
Now, Michael.
Yes, sir.
Michael, I got to tell you, I know you're going to scold me, only because I haven't told anybody what I'm doing here. So,
no, you're good.
Check this out.
Here, man.
Real quick. I am working on the hair. I thought I'm going to work on her hair color for a little bit. And everybody, I am using a couple Prismacolor pencils to get this done. And I don't use as many colors as people would think. I just use them to their strengths. And so I selected a chocolate because I'm really snacky tonight. And then we're going to go, and I'm going to use a terracotta, and I'm going to use a burnt ochre. And the combination of those three colors is going to pretty well, it's not going to duplicate. I can never duplicate a photograph in real life colors, but
oh my God, you're doing this right. How do I am not an artist whatsoever. I cannot draw. And I look at people who can. I just think that's such an amazing art to have. Wow.
Well,
I envy you. It's just like, wow.
Well, this is, like, everybody's got a strength in life. Everybody's got a talent, something that they do that they do almost effortlessly. Like what Michael Larkin in this podcast. I mean, you can tell the guy's got the voice and the gift for gab and everything else. And that's one of the things that he was just born to do, is entertain us with the microphone. You obviously were born to entertain us with, multiple platforms and flair and whatever. When I was young and Glow was about the only thing female fighting wise that you could have readily accessible at your fingertips, I was like number one fanboy. And it's again, I've told people a million times, it's so ironic and really crazy that I learned how to draw the female figure a lot by drawing photos that had you in them. In fact, the photo behind you is a shining example of that.
I really didn't have very much. I'm pretty thin. So, I've only gained, let's see, I think in this photo, Michael and Tommy, I'm about 115, which is really thin. Obviously, I don't have this. Did you give me that? You gave me more. Yeah, good. So, but I didn't have a lot of curves. And even today, you know what I mean? So I'm about 119. So I'm not far from this. I think most of that's up here. And I was a lot tighter. And I had to, you know, do a little enhancement just to feel good about myself. And that's why I did it, you
Hey,
know.
rock and roll.
I can't even around, but you know what I mean? You do things that you do for yourself. And that was one of the things I wanted to do, is enhance this area right here. But anyway, like I was saying, I really had to make those curves to get those curves. You know what I mean? There wasn't a lot, but I had so much fun in Glow. And if you had asked me, Jeannie, would you do anything different? I think the only thing that I would have liked to have done is been behind the scenes a little bit more. So that way I could have directed, because, you know, that didn't come later. Just like you just said, what did you say about your directing movies? And
Oh, I'm just a frustrated movie director. And so every time I look at one of these, to me, it's like making a movie.
Yeah, right? Yeah,
Which
absolutely.
makes you the star in this one. So
Star in that one. I'm so honored. Yeah,
well, it's, again, this for me, as everybody else knows, it's so ironic in the strangest way that I finally get to feature you in something where I'm actually working with you. If you would have told me this when I was in high school,
right?
like, oh yeah, guess what? This is just feeding the flames for what's going to happen in the future. I would have said, there's just not a chance in the world. But so for me, this is really fulfilling a dream. I get to sit here. You get to come up to the actual Tommy Bell Little Art Table and see what's going on, which would have never been possible, you know, in the 80s, that kind of stuff.
Oh, here's a question too. So how long does it take you? Well, you know, when you get on a project like something like that, so how many working days would you say you spent on this? And I know you had to stop a little bit, but how long does something like that take?
Well, that's what's amazing is, and I've thought about this many different times, because I have actually a regular crazy day job that takes up a boatload of my time, and I've got a family and all that and everything. So have all that going on. So I only really get to work on these drawings maybe a couple of hours a day. There are days where I only get to work on it for maybe 30 minutes or something like that. If I was at a stage where I was just doing this for a living, for example, I could probably kick one out in a couple of days, maybe 4 days at the longest or whatever. I mean, right now they take me about 10 to 12 from start to finish, you know.
And plus you have to be good, right? You have to be feeling good. When I do my soap, right? If I don't feel good, I am not going to put those ingredients together, you know, because what if I, do something that's a little heavy pour on something, and then I've ruined everything. So when I'm feeling good and relaxed, I do it. But if I'm not having a good day, or I wake up, not feeling it, I don't do it.
Well, see, that is something, Hollywood's going to surprise you, because for me, art can be as much therapy as it can be anything else. I mean, to be honest, you know, there are days where not having the best day, but other than the drawing show, I always draw to music, and it's usually rather loud. And it helps me find my place and get creative. And sometimes I need to get creative to get out of whatever might be bugging me.
Writing. Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to just real quick, didn't mean to cut you off, but ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to quit with the chocolate pencil, and I'm switching over. I always work dark to light, and you'll see why here in just a second. Now I'm going to go into this terracotta color, and what I'm going to do, just real quick, this is the whole trick, Hollywood, to how these things are done. It's all about blending and coloring. So I know you're coloring with me at home, and you're going to show everybody at the end of the show what you came up with, which is super exciting. But Michael's doing it too. Trust me.
I'm with her on this one. I couldn't draw a stick figure like I mentioned the last show. Art was never my thing, man. That's all you. We leave it to the geniuses of the pencil, if you will.
I love it. Yeah, I love that. I tried to make a clay brontosaurus
Oh my
And
God.
a clay brontosaurus in fourth grade. I said I wanted to be an archaeologist. And this goes back again to this Egyptian stuff or fossils. And, you know, I tried to make one and it was about, I wish I still had it, but the neck broke off of it. It was pretty cool, actually. I mean, yes, I had this hunk of clay and then one day the neck broke and I was
And
bummed.
the dreams were shattered forever.
Yeah, but I am not. I try to do paint. But do you guys remember paint by numbers?
Oh God, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Remember those old paint? I don't know if they even still have it. Paint by numbers. So
Yep.
I got one for Christmas from Santa Claus, right? And I'm looking at the little pots. You know, there's little pots, and I'm putting the green here, and it was trees and maybe lions. Oh my God, it looked horrible. It was all spotty. It didn't look like what the box cover looked like. It was horrible.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, Jeannie, just real quick. Because this actually goes back to something you commented on earlier. If I still had any of those photos from when I was in high school, not photos, drawings from high school that I did. And the answer is unequivocally no. And here's why. You're gonna breathe a sigh, but especially back then, and I still have a habit of doing this to this day. If I'm working on something and I can see that it's pretty damn good, but I still got something to learn,
Right.
then it goes to get burned. It's not around. It's not around, probably because, and I did that with a lot of stuff back then. Say what?
You're a perfectionist, I think, till you get it right.
I just I didn't, as an artist, you don't want everybody to see every time there's been many drawings that I've had to restart or do this or that because something wasn't working right or I just wasn't happy with it. And so if it's something that I legit don't want people to see, then what I'll simply do is destroy it, which a lot of people jump on me about, like, you should never get rid of them. And I'm like, yeah, but then it's going to pop up somewhere and then I don't want it,
Yeah, but what happened at my age and all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, and look back at them again and say, that was actually really good. It's a good
now I've got a portfolio of like over 300 different drawings, so I'm okay now.
Here's a question for you then while you're drawing.
Yeah.
So, question, have you appeared at any Comic-Cons to show your art and have people drawings?
No, I have
think
not.
Why not?
You
should be there.
Michael, help get me out of this one.
Oh, no. Well, I mean, she does have a great point. I mean, we've said this many a times. Like, as far as Comic-Con goes, dude, as far as artistry goes, I think you definitely have the talent of being and showcasing your stuff, man.
Absolutely.
We always talk about like the imagery side of things and going back to what Hollywood said earlier, man. When you look at like a mummy, like for me, like popular culture, just like people dressing as a mummy for Halloween, like it really sets the tone for the season. Also, you look at it from a stance of like the Mummy movies with Brendan Fraser back in the 90s to the early 2000s. You think of Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummies from like the 50s. So I mean, there's stuff for everybody, man, of like different artistry and stuff.
Yeah,
It's all about variety.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
really?
Do it up.
You know what's on Spenguli is the Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, actually.
Oh my
One
goodness.
of my all-time
Classic.
favorite movies.
Yes.
It's on tonight. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
One of my all-time. I actually own that on Blu-ray because I watch it several times a year.
I am loving this drawing. You have no idea. I think it's so fabulous. This is the first. I've never seen this like this. So.
Well, Hollywood, let me explain. First of all, thank you so much. I mean, you have no idea how awesome it is to get those kind of compliments. I drew in the 90s for years and nobody cared. And I quit for 20 years and people talked me into doing it again. And I said, well, I remember telling my wife, I said, I'm going to do these first 2 drawings and no one's going to care. And I'm going to give you these colored pencils back. And then that's that.
Does she also draw?
No. But she, it was my parents that really pushed me to get back into art. And I kind of stood there with my arms folded and just said, nah, I'm done with that. Like, nobody cared. Why should I jump back into it? And my
Yeah.
mom beat on me about it for a while, and my dad did. And then my wife got me a set of colored pencils and kind of just pushed it my way and said, like, look, no pressure, da da da. And then I
Wow.
said, fine, I'm going to do 2 drawings. No one's going to give a shit, and I'll be on my happy way. Well, that was in 2020.
Ah,
So
yeah.
Hollywood, I'll explain what I'm doing here real quick, because I'm kind of focusing on one area here, which is the top of the hair, just so that within the context of a show, I can kind of show you how all this blending works. I do this a little bit slower when I'm not on the show, but at the same time, for entertainment purposes and without sacrificing any quality, there's ways to do what I do, and show people, like, look, I know you can't sit here right at the art table physically and watch this happen, but here's what you would be seeing if you did. And
Wow.
so a lot of this blending happens with, again, not an awful lot of different colors. It's just the way that you work them and use them. So like with hair, I'm just going to take 1 second and fill in a little bit more of this, because I'm going into a lighter brown now, which is going to help start pull out highlights and make this mess look a little bit more realistic.
Sometimes I'm blonder, sometimes I'm redder, sometimes I change it up all the time. Hair is hair,
Well, I'll tell you, this is something else interesting because of, you've got the photo over here, and then we've got the drawing over here.
Right.
I'm cheating, and yes, I am, ladies and gentlemen, I'm cheating because I'm not above that. I am lightening up the top of your hair more than what's in the photograph, so that it contrasts with the background that's going to be there.
I wonder if I could take a photo while you're doing it, like on this camera. Can we do that? You can, right?
You might. Michael will know.
I'm pretty sure you can actually take a photo on here, or I'll just put a nice little still of it. So yeah, go ahead and knock yourself out.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, it did.
Alrighty. And so here we are.
Oh, that looks awesome. Wow, I can really see that well.
That's
Did you
awesome.
do something with the camera?
I smiled at it.
I love it. Now I can really see it. Sorry. Okay, good. That's amazing. It's blown up bigger.
I love how you love it. Your enthusiasm.
Oh my, it's beautiful. You've done such and the colors. I love the yellow with the orange and the red in the back like that. Oh.
Mm-hmm. In
and
a
the
minute, when I'm done messing around with the hair a little bit, I'm going to hop over to the sarcophagus and kind of show you, because as you can see, I've been working my way down. So up here is not 100% finished, but we're on our way with a couple different colors. By the time we get down here, it's just the brown that I used, but I can kind of show you how you try to make something look. Art's an illusion, so I'll never say that it 100% looks like gold or it looks like this or that, but I'm trying to give that illusion, and if I get enough people going, wow, that looks like da da da, okay, great, I've done my job. And
you've done your job, yeah.
And I'm becoming, especially thanks to Michael, I'm becoming very well known for my special holiday Halloween drawings. Because that's my holiday, and every year
I love this drawing so much.
Well,
Hollywood.
My apologies.
I'm trying to. Oh, go ahead, Michael.
Oh, my apologies, dude. I don't mean to cut you guys off, but I was gonna. You could definitely expect this piece to be in a future LFC going forward with your holiday pieces on the pages. I got your back on that, man. It's gonna be featured, absolutely.
Super Michael Larkin. Listen to him go.
I got you, man.
Love it. Ooh,
it's just.
That's incredible.
Last year, I did the amazing Tomiko in a witch drawing, and Tomiko and I are great friends. I love that lady to death.
She's so sweet.
And so it's funny because I was like, you start with a certain for me, it was getting close to time to think about what I'm going to do for my Halloween drawings this year. And I'm like, well,
Right.
past couple years has been really strong, and I featured some absolutely iconic people. And the first name and the only name on that list before I proceeded forward with anything was yours.
Oh,
And I
that's
was
so
like, it's a long time coming. I mean, I had the pleasure of featuring you in a drawing that I did for Lady O and Lady O Productions, My Naughty People. And Lady O is a great friend. So of course
Didn't she? You know how she got into her company? Do you know?
I do not.
So she was ordering customs all the time from my company all the time, and we're friends.
Right.
And I said, you know what, Olyanka? I said, why don't you become a producer? And she goes, me? You know how she is. Me? I'm like, you have great ideas. You know camera angles. You are making these scripts up. You know what you like. She goes, well, what do I need to do? I go, get a camera and get the girls. And that is how it started. I'm like, you need to do your own.
And look at her now.
Yes. And
she's,
yes, and I'm proud of her. I think it's really cool.
I think she's just an amazing human being.
She's an amazing human being, and she's not afraid to talk her mind either, which, when I first met. Yes, and I think that's good. Say it the way it is. Don't beat around the bush,
Right. And her and I have not known each other super long time, but I was amazed at how fast that lady adopted me.
She's so nice.
Yes.
Very, very nice. I talk to her about every single day, not on the phone, but through Messenger.
Mm-hmm.
She always is doing the stuff for my soap, which is great. Always posting, which I love. Oh my gosh, this is so incredible.
I need to bring something up about your soap, because here we are with the drawing.
Okay.
Can you see this where my finger's pointing?
Yes, I see that.
That is the image. It's basically an indication of your logo for Nashville Botanica, your soap company that you're incredibly making
so great.
These amazing soaps. Everybody stop for a second. Look for this logo. Nashville Botanica, Hollywood Botanica. She makes the craziest, coolest soaps. The problem is that I have Hollywood, Jeannie, with your soaps is this. When you make one that is supposed to be representing food,
yes,
I get hungry. And I'm like, oh my God, now I got to go eat something because I watched somebody make soap. So that's incredible, though. I mean, you're an artist in your own right.
Sometimes they look like dessert. I've been working on the Halloween ones, and the skulls that I've been doing are so cool. And they
are beautiful.
Those are fun. Tommy, I need to send you one, and I need to send Mike one as well. What colors do you guys like? I can do them any color.
Oh my God. I mean,
if I send you a skull one, or think about it, you both could think about it, and you can email, you can just text me, or just message me. And
good with red, purple, white, blue. I'm good.
What's your favorite?
I love color.
I mean, what's your favorite?
Oh my God. Red and purple.
Just think about it. And then tonight or tomorrow, message me and say, I would like this. And if you have this scent, I might like that. There's different scents. There's anything from apple all the way down to sandalwood. So you could have, or you could have it peppermint and make it minty. You could have black raspberry vanilla. You could have a watermelon, or no scent.
That's what I'm talking about. How crazy is it that you're so talented in making all this incredible soap stuff? Like, wow. I mean, and that's being an artist in your own right. You know this. Yeah.
It's just being creative. And it's something like, for me, when I do the soap, it makes me, I feel very relaxed when I'm doing it, very calming, just mixing together. It's something that you don't rush. You don't want to rush. It's like you're not rushing. I mean, look at the hair. Look how that's coming in. My goodness. I'm
Well,
amazed.
this and hair is just one of these things you just got to have fun with. And right now I'm working in
And what
lighter
pencil?
colors. Yeah.
What kind of pencils are you using?
I use Prismacolor pencils, and it's really important to note that because Prismacolor pencils for the artist, the lead is very soft. And
Right.
because it's a softer lead, that allows for some of this amazing blending. Watch this here. I'm just going to pop in a couple highlights here, and then I take a dry brush. Okay, this is important. I always use a dry paintbrush to brush off all the flickies that get on there, because you have to keep your drawing surface clean. If you don't, it's no good. Bad things will happen, and we don't want bad things to happen on paper. So
No.
what we're doing is just blocking in, and you can kind of start to see how the highlights fill in.
I sure can.
And register all
yours
that.
looks better than the photograph. You know,
I don't
like
know
it.
about that.
I think yours is looking better than the photograph. I almost said, "Hey, can you give me a slimmer waist, please?"
Well, that's what's so great is on
It
the
looks
art
amazing.
table. On the art table, I can do whatever I want to, and just the fact that I'm amazing you is like that's my A+ for the day. And it really, here's what people sometimes don't think about, is that when there's a lack of enthusiasm about a project, it does affect in a way how that project turns out. And when you have somebody who's really fired up about something, and it bleeds through. It bleeds through with my enthusiasm. And then ultimately in the end, you have something that turns out really
amazing.
really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think reimagining the Mummy, the first thing I did was I thought, this year, because I was like, well, I've done witches and I've done this and that.
Right.
And,
Right.
and I thought about literally, okay, let's redo some classic Universal monsters.
Perfect.
And my brain just started going crazy with the ideas. But then I said, I can't do Dracula. I've done like a bunch of different vampire drawings and stuff. And
Yeah.
just needed.
Go ahead.
Oh, I just needed to find something that really needed to be reinvented. And I kind of thought the Mummy, I mean, I know there's been a million Mummy movies and this and that, and this too. But I just felt that for Tommy Bell Land, it needed that, like that was ripe for reinventing. And when I kind of messaged you and I told you what was going on in my head about how I wanted to do it, you were so enthusiastic about, wow, that sounds really cool. And
here are some photos, give me a minute, and then I started giving you more to pick from.
And I just knew at that moment that I had picked the right person, and that this was going to be something that people were going to love. Now, real quick, Hollywood, I'm going to explain.
Oh my!
I'm leaving a few little. I'm cheating again. Again, art is an exaggeration, so I can do that because I can do that. No one can stop me. I'm leaving a few white areas as kind of like real magnificent pops of color in here. And I'm doing that on purpose so that I can pop back in with not a white. Like, I don't want to do that because like all the bandages are going to be white, and
yes,
you don't want to compete like colors. I mean, sometimes you can't avoid it, but if you can, that's what you want to do. So I'm not going to use white, but I'm going to use a really, really light yellow and still achieve that same effect of what it should wind up looking like. I don't know if it's going to happen yet. I'm not done, but it should, knock on wood, wind up looking like just hair highlights, little areas where the hair is, the light is striking it in that insanely kick-ass photo. And hopefully that's what we're going to wind up with. So let's find out. Let's just brush off all the ickies, folks, because you don't want those on the paper, and they will be there.
Are you sitting down? Okay. Do you have it on, like you're looking down on it? Did you have your camera looking down on this and you're sitting down?
The camera's looking down. I am actually, and the camera's probably maybe, I don't know, 1.5 feet away from the actual drawing. I'm sitting off to the right-hand, the extreme
Correct. So
right-hand side.
you're sitting down doing this.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just that I'm completely, when I do the show, for needs of the camera and stuff, at least the way things are set up right now, I'm completely, I'm looking at the drawing sideways. I am sitting this way because there's a tripod here. But that doesn't bother me any. I could work on it upside down if I had to. That doesn't bother me.
Now, you just put a future episode out there, man. If you just upside down drawing just to see it.
Oh, stop it, Michael.
That to the universe.
Can you do this standing on your head?
Right, yeah. Well, I
do
don't know.
tricks. Just do tricks, man. You got the tricks.
You can?
My God, no. I don't think I could stand on my head if people were holding my ankles.
Oh my goodness.
You know? All right.
Yes, you could.
Here we go. This is it. Here's the final last little piece on the hair. And then I'm just going to I'm going to jump over then, because it's such a wacky episode anyway, but I'm going to jump over and show you how I'm achieving a little bit of the gold on the sarcophagus.
Oh my God, it looks awesome.
That I started working on. I'll tell you what, too. I'm looking at all these pencils. That's what's so great about the show. I'm looking at all these pencils and stuff, and I get excited. Anyway, I am going to go in with a little bit of white just because I lie. And there we go.
I would think because you went with the little bit of white, just because I'm wearing white, it's just kind of like you know what I mean?
It's a little accent.
Just something just a little accent because you can.
That's exact. There you go. Listen to Hollywood, everybody. She knows exactly what she's talking about. Look at her go. And let's see. Look at that hair. Now, I'm going to do black. Why? I'll tell you why. Because it's my damn show. No, I'm going to put a few more pops of real distinct. And I know there's not a lot of black in the photo. Like when you look at this photo, there isn't, again, a lot of black in the hair. But in Artland, sometimes to make everything cohesively work when you're looking at the image, just kind of makes sense to. And I'm not going crazy, folks. Black, I've said it a million times on my drawing show, black is the most unforgiving color. So you put it where you want it and don't touch the paper with the pencil. Otherwise, I'm going to smack your hand. No, just you won't be happy. You won't be happy. Black is a very difficult color to control.
Unbelievable. Wow. It just stands out.
Now we've got some. Let me get down here. I don't want to forget anything. And we got to get that because I need a pop down there by that little curl. And I need a little right there and another right there because we've got your skin tone right here. So I got to make sure that your hair, let's do bravery test, everybody. Let's do this. There we go.
Wow.
Brush it off.
Hot. Whoever that girl is, that's a hot photo. Wow. I love it.
I love that you love it. Let me tell you, I don't know how else to say that.
Oh yeah, this has to come in my book. It's so amazing. I think this needs to have one full page, the whole page.
I love that. I would be absolutely honored beyond belief if you did I will definitely.
Well, I'm honored. My hands would be hurting. You know what I mean? Just.
So
do you sign? Let me have you a question. Where do you on your art down here? Do you put your
the little bell and the date? And then if people will buy prints, which they do every once in a while, someone will actually buy this actual original. I flip it over on the back and I write a bunch of stuff on there too, just because that's what I do.
You better sell that for some good money. So then how do you do the print? So what kind of prints, how do you so that's your original.
Yes.
And then,
yeah,
tell me.
what I do is I have the image scanned.
Right.
Get a great digital scan that allows me to send that scan to a different print shop,
Okay.
who actually handles and takes care of kicking out prints and stuff like that. And the print thing, all that merchandising stuff, is Michael could tell you, is a very new world that I'm getting ready to jump
Good.
into, because right
Good.
now Tommy Bell Art has no website. I have no merch currently available other than just through word of mouth. And so I'm ready to launch said website.
Great.
I've got a great deal where I can merch all of my LFC drawings on anything I want to, and use that company's logo from Lingerie Fighting Championships to help my branding and merchandising, through the help of Sean, who's agreed to just give me the reins on any of the art stuff that I've done for them. And some of these other companies that I'm working with now also are pretty much saying the same thing, like, go for it, kiddo. Like, just do it, see what happens.
I can't wait to hang a copy of that in my house. We have stuff in this other room, like you have, you know, what you collect, all your collectible stuff. We have photos, and this, it by far is one of my favorite. The first one, I did have one photo that an artist that you know that passed away last year was George Perez. Do you remember George? And he did one of me probably 25 years ago, and he called me Black Vixen, or no, blonde, because I was blonde Vixen.
Okay.
And he had the cape like Batman and a cool picture. I'll take a photo of it and I will show it to you.
Awesome.
This is right up there with Mr. George Perez. And I remember, I forget how he used to say his last name. Perez. Yeah. So
that's outstanding. And I have actually, in my social media, my short social media time, I have just as many artist friends as I do female fighters and modelers and all this stuff, because I get a huge charge out of enjoying and supporting what other artists are doing. And I think that's really important. And it, because it builds strength in the art community. And not only that, but it shows people overall. I mean, artists can be funny. They can be a little egotistical sometimes, or they can just get on some kind of a train where they really think that their stuff is like
better than anybody.
This is the best ever, and it's better than so-and-so's. I never, ever compare my artwork in the way I do things to anyone else.
No, because everybody has their own style. It's like wrestling. It's like wrestling. You have your own style and your own persona. Are you a heel? Are you a bad guy? Well, what kind of a heel are you? What kind of a good guy are you? You know, it's sky's the limit with art.
It really is. It really is. And I have been blessed beyond belief in the past 4 years to be where I am now and be doing a show with Hollywood, which is
it's so awesome to see this. It's the way it's coming alive. Oh, I thought it was awesome before you did the hair. I'm like, it's ready to go.
Oh, no, it's not.
There's I know, so much but more that's how good it looks.
I love that you love it. I mean, and this is going to look absolutely golden. Yeah. And then back here, we've got, it's going to be a really great little, you know, just some Egyptian buildings, and all this is sand. But what I'm going to do to make this area here pop, it's going to be light sandy colors to browns by the time we get here. And then it's going to fade to black, so that this whole area here will be black, and that's going to make all this pop, because you've got to have that contrast. You have to. So
see, you're so good with color. You're really good. You could be a makeup artist yourself, because you already know. You know how to blend. You know,
I wish I was a makeup artist. I'm probably a frustrated makeup artist too, because I used to
I
do
think
that all the
you
time.
could try. You could try. You could do mine first.
I'm
Yeah,
on. I'm
be
on
your
board.
first, you know, test.
Oh, sign me up. Michael, you hear that?
I'm just saying, man, you better work. That's all I got to say, man. Whichever, you better work, sir.
You could be
Hey,
I could be the first test subject. Here, try my makeup.
Making Hollywood the guinea pig over
I
here.
know you can do it. You know who's also, or try it on your wife first. Do you have children, kids?
one daughter who's moved out. She just moved out last month.
Wow, good for her.
Yeah,
I moved
she
out
moved
right
in.
away. How old is your daughter?
She is almost 22. She moved in with her boyfriend of 4
Yeah.
and some years, and they're really hitting. They're doing great. I'm so proud of them.
Yeah, that's really good. I was a little younger, probably right out of high school. There was a lot of rules. And being from an Italian family, even if you're coming in at 2 in the morning, my mother could never sleep knowing that I'm not home yet, even though
Right.
I'm an adult, she's working. And so, after a while, you're just like, it's better. You should probably move out. Well, they didn't tell me to move out at 18. Right. I just need to be out of here. And then I moved back. Then I got into Glow, and that was in my 20s. And then I moved back for a little bit, and my parents were like, I think I was probably 23, 24. And they're like, I think you should move out. Yeah, we're tired of, it's time for you to go. And you know what? If I was smart and communicated a lot better, like kids do, most of them do a lot better than I did, and communicate, I would have said, you know what? Here, guys, I'm working. Here's some money for, for whatever you need. And I never did that. I don't even know, I'm such a different person than I was then. Always really thinking of others, like what can I contribute? But even though I was brought up that way, I don't know what it is when you're 20. I just think that you're thinking about you, me,
I absolutely did. I like to fancy myself as a bit of a humanitarian, but in my 20s, not so much. No,
not so much. We wanted to hang out with our friends.
Yeah.
Where you?
Yeah. I had shit to do.
What part? What band are we going to see tonight? Who's playing?
Oh yeah.
I think when we're in our 20s and as we progress, as we get older, we get wiser and we just really get to more find ourselves. And I mean, I'll be honest, I'll use the Italian word here since we got Hollywood on the show. You kind of want your family to stop the zit por favor, if you will, when you're younger than when you get older, you get wiser. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing journey that is life. So, I mean, we're all on that journey. We're all on that ride, so to speak.
Yeah, we definitely are. So, but some kids like my nephews, they're in their 20s now, younger 20s, and they're pretty good kids. They communicate really well with their parents, but it could be the generation. It's a different generation, than I'm growing up with my folks.
I mean, to quote Tommy Bell over here, and Tommy Bell, I'll use an Italian word here, and I think Hollywood, this will make you giggle. Tommy Bell, you could sometimes be a little bit of a stunad, but also at the same time, you aight, man, you aight.
Now you guys are making me hungry for some pasta. Now I want angel hair.
That's Michael's fault. I want you to know that's all Michael's
ravioli, baby.
fault.
Ravioli up in there, yeah, the whole thing.
Oh my God, my great aunt used to make homemade ravioli at Christmas time every Christmas. And then they made pizza. I was like, well, let's go over to. We had Shakey's, but we had this numero uno pizza. I guess those are still around for some reason. And then we had Dino's Pizza right down the street. Oh, everyone loves pizza. We also have Pinball Pizza by my school.
What's that?
In Burbank.
Pinball Pizza?
Pinball Pizza it was called. It's still there.
Wow.
Fun cool t-shirt. Pinball Pizza. What a great name.
Send some of that with your soap.
I know, right?
It's a combination pizza and soap. I like it. I like that.
That's the only Tommy Bell can dream it up, Michael. You know, come on.
I mean, I'm with her. Like when I was growing up on Long Island, like the two places that were really happening, like that are still there. I mean, Gio's Pizzeria was a happening spot in East Islip, and then you go over like one town over, like down the street, there was Mulberry Street, where you had like your focaccia bread and pizza and everything. Oh my God, it was like Italian heaven over there with just a pizza shop.
Yeah, that's one thing. I'm coming to New York in November. Not very long, only a day. I don't even know if I get to see Oyanka, but yeah, I miss that area and walking around. And I did last summer walk with a friend of mine through Little Italy, and I hadn't been down there for a long time, and it was very good. It was a hot day though. We had walked from, I don't know where we were, way up from the park all the way down to Little Italy. That was a long day, you know.
Wow.
I did take, wait a second. I took a little bit of I did take the subway down and then walked farther up. And I'm like, I can't do it anymore. We got to get on the subway.
Yep. It's like one big giant circle, Little Italy, but it's a hell of a time. And it's a hell of a walk for people to really experience such a sight. So yeah, I'm right there with you. And especially if I'm along with the subway, I get it wholeheartedly.
Yeah, let's get on the subway. It's so much easier. And then I took her over to, she hadn't been to Arts Deli, and I wanted to, I think it's Arts. Is that the one that's down?
Yeah, I think that is Arts. You're correct on that.
Yeah, Arts, where they did the movie with Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal. Is that?
Oh,
yeah,
God, what's
is
that
it
movie
Arts?
called?
Oh no, Arts Deli is in California.
Oh, okay.
It is.
Oh,
What is the one
yeah, that's gonna bug me now. I know what you're talking about, but the name escapes me now. Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna look it up.
All right.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
it's gonna bug her if she doesn't.
It is. I have to do it. Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal ate pizza at what pizza place in New York? Let's see what comes up.
What is McDonald's?
Don't do that. Oh no, something else came up. Hold on. Oh, Katz, Katz, duh, Katz Deli. Have you been to that?
Michael.
It's where Harry met Sally.
Oh yes.
They did the scene at Katz Deli.
Okay. Yeah. No.
When Harry met Sally, I had to take her there just because eating one of the sandwiches out of there, a pastrami sandwich. Oh my gosh, very good. We had gone. I didn't think there was going to be a line. There was this huge line, and her and I were starving. We had walked so far. It's kind of warm out. And I'm like, now there's a damn line. So I said to her, wait for a minute. Let's wait for a minute. Let me walk and see what's going on. I'll find out how long the line's going to be. Well, big guy in front, bouncer, giving everybody tickets, to go in, whatever it was. I looked at him, I go, how long's the wait? He goes, well, where are you standing? I'm like, all the way to the end. He goes, you know how this works? And I said, yes, I do. I'll be right back. So I grabbed my friend. I grabbed her out of line, and I gave him some money, and we were right in the door.
Look at you go.
I think the big question would be in that deli, and especially with Harry Met Sally, did you have what she was having? I think is the best.
Yeah, right. I'll have what she's having. That's great. What a great movie, huh?
Yep.
Yeah. My friend goes, what? And I said, I am not standing in this line. I go, I'll give him $50 to get in here. I'm hot. I have to use the restroom, and I'm starving. Those three things are not good for someone who needs,
Manja, if you will. Manja. Yep.
Yeah. Boy, that looks amazing.
Oh, check it out. So while you guys have been regaling the New York store, because I'm so not a New Yorker, but what I've been doing is adding some colors and pops of colors to the sarcophagus, because I do want it to try and look gold-ish without really saying anything. So what I'm doing, check this out. So I've been using like this really light, it's kind of like a light orange, but now watch what happens. I'm going to do something that's really fantastic. I've got this super big, really, really, really bright canary yellow. And I'm not going to overuse it. because then it's just going to be yellow, and that would look stupid.
What makes it
But
shine? Sort of like a
oh yeah,
yeah.
I'm just extending out some of where I was coloring with that orange. And the reason for that is I'm leaving some white spots here and there, just like I did on the hair, but just more pronounced on this so that it looks like it's got a shine. And I'll tell you, there's nothing more difficult with colored pencils than to make something look as though it's got a shine to it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's not actually super easy, and I never want to play off like everything that I do is like, oh, it's so easy for me to do. Watch me do this while I'm
Right.
standing on my head. Uh, I wish it was that way. However, it's not. Sometimes I'm really struggling for what color to use or how am I going to pull something off. I've never
Right.
done a sarcophagus before, so I really had to figure out how am I going to color it, not how am I going to draw it. Sarcophaguses all can look the same. I just wanted it to be really ornamental and all that, but it was down to the coloring. I'm like, man, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna pull that one off? And I can't look
Right.
through my portfolio at past sarcophaguses and go, here's what I did. Never done it before. So I knew it would be a challenge because the sarcophagus is a big part of this drawing.
Yeah, of course.
So it needed to be right, and so I won't lie, there's moments where you're kind of sweating that, like, okay, I put it on there, people are liking it, now how the hell am I going to do it?
Oh, it's amazing.
So now just by adding some pops of white, I want to hit this little feather tip up here, and I kind of start, Hollywood, to blend out with white, I start in the middle of the paper where I haven't colored, and I just little teeny weeny circles like that, and I smash the rest into the rest of that color so that it kind of pushes that other color out. Even in the smallest areas, it's important. It's tedious, but it's important because the idea and the image are going to make, hopefully, we'll find out here in a second. Bear with me. We'll find out together if this is going to look.
It looks to me
like we're going to see if it looks like anything cool as soon as I brush away some stuff here, because I got all kinds of little wigglies on the paperwork and I don't like those. So get rid of those, and not too bad. Not
beautiful.
too bad. I can live with that.
Beautiful. You're so good.
Thank you. And so I'm going to hop back in here super quick and just tackle a few more hair things. I'm going back in with my chocolates and my browns that I have at the ready. You've got a little bit of hair left here, and I figure let's wrap that up here. And this has been one super fun show.
I've never done a show like this where someone has done a portrait. It's like a portrait, but like, what would you call it, Tommy?
I absolutely call it a portrait.
Yeah.
This is your drawing.
Oh, I'm, again, the words, very honored to have you pick me. I just love it. It's so freaking cool. How many people can say that I've loved my life, and I just, I don't think I could change things any differently than they've been going in my life. I'm blessed as well. I really am. I have good friends, good family.
That's how you know you're doing it right.
For 21 years, I have good people surrounding me. I'm glad my parents had the rules that they had when I was young. Seriously, even though I didn't like it, but they really did. Well, and to have you drawing me on here, I never thought that. It's awesome.
Either did I. I mean, it's so strange the way life plays out.
Thank you for asking me, and thank you for saying, hey, I have this idea,
Well, Hollywood, I will just lead in with this little earworm for you as we're getting to the end of this little show, at least anyways, is I have a wonderful habit of, it's very difficult for me to feature somebody once or sometimes even twice. So I would probably be willing to bet that this is not the last Tommy Bell feature that I may want you for.
I'm your girl.
This is, I'll tell you, I mean, to be honest, this drawing has been a lot like taking a Sunday stroll in the park because it's such a familiar face that I'm drawing for me personally that it was like, oh, well, it's just a no-brainer. This is somebody that I've literally learned how to draw a female by doing so. Again, it was so familiar. It's just, it's doing this one is like a holiday. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, it's magnificent. It really is.
And just trying to finish a few more of these little, like, wrap around little locks of hair that are down here. And there's a few of them go like that.
Yeah, I think that girl there looks better than the picture.
Well, I just hope that I do that amazing photo justice so the photographer doesn't want to kill me. And,
no, of course not. John would be going, oh my God, it's awesome. Yeah.
Well, I'm just, again, I'm
You're
also
so talented.
I'm also very honored to have you on the show and to be able to work with you like this and to just be able to, take a few minutes and have some fun and show you. It's one thing when you're looking at the social media posts
Right.
and here's a little bit more progress here and here's a little bit more here. But when you watch it happen, then it's like magic. Then magic happens.
That's the perfect word. It is like magic. Oh, it's badass. That's
Hear
it,
that,
man.
Mr. Larkin? I'm doing good.
Hey, man, I look at it like this, and I'll add this point to what you guys were saying here. First and foremost, I think when we look at both images side to side, which is a great interpretation and description and depiction of what we see from life, really art imitating life, so to speak. But I think as we look at by side here, folks, and Hollywood, I'm going to say this about you, my dear friend, you, much like this photo, is timeless. So it all comes back together full circle, man.
Thank you.
Very welcome.
Michael he's got the gift of gab. You're so good. Your words are very, very sweet. Thank you for that, Michael.
You're very
well. That's why I wanted Mr. Larkin to be an active voice on every one of my drawing shows because, again, we've all got strengths, and then there's areas where somebody else excels, and Michael's got that mastery of the language and the way to talk. And
he pulls it all together.
He pulls it all together. He's the dude. And plus, I figured if I'm doing drawing shows now where I don't have a special guest on or whatever, or this or that, I need somebody to just bounce off of. And so I'm not talking to myself.
And everybody needs that. I get it. Yep. That's what makes it perfect.
Well, right. Michael was a willing victim.
No, dude, I'm always willing. I mean, here's the thing about this, folks. If you have checked them, we'll do the plugs for the LFC site and the VIP at the end here. But I look at it from a stance too as well. First of all, I got two of my peeps in here, and Tommy Bell and the OG Glow herself, the one and only Hollywood, folks. I mean, for me, it's like we interview and we work with a lot of the same people. So it kind of just makes well, Tommy Bell.
Michael, I've said this a million times. Hollywood has probably not heard me say it, at least in person, but I'm so stunned about how many women in the female fighting industry have adopted me, sometimes aggressively. I mean, it's just, but the recognition that I'm getting from so many people, that's what warms my heart. That's what gives me more ideas about more cool drawings to do. And people to, every time I turn around and I get that opportunity to meet and interact with somebody that I'm doing a drawing with, they just fall even more in love with the project because I think it becomes just that much more personal, which ultimately I just love that.
And you're so kind on top of it, so very, we've never met before, but just in your type, when we're messaging each other about the project, just so kind and really down to earth. And now that I've spoken with you again here, Yeah. And you too, Mr. Larkin. Thank you for always keeping in touch, like you did last week. Let me know, when we're doing our show. You're a sweetheart as well. And I wish I had your gift of gab. But we can't have it all. We try, and I wish I had Tommy's artistic, creative drawings. I can't, but at least you're doing it. And I just, again, thrilled to see this. It's a masterpiece. I'm sorry, but that's what it is.
I think that also you make it for us easy for us, and thank you as always for your kind words as well, Miss Hollywood. But I think what also makes it too, folks, is in today's day and age, we have the authenticity that really goes into a lot of content creations or creators, if you will. So I mean, your expression says it all. It's all about, like, and I'll equate it to wrestling here, subtleties, intricacies, and nuances that go into each and every show. So you also make this show worth having with your expressions and your illicit reactions. So it really goes all hand in hand, so to speak.
Absolutely.
Hey,
Absolutely.
beautiful.
And it goes back to something that Hollywood says all the time, everybody. And when you're following her, because you're crazy if you're not, so I know you are out there. So when you're following her and she says, be kind, be nice, like, it's that simple. It's that simple. And if you've got a light heart and you got a light attitude, nothing's going to bother you.
Yeah.
It
And I really
just,
mean every time I say it. And I did a little thing on Instagram before I came on with you guys to plug this
oh,
tonight.
nice.
Thank you.
So when you get off, will see if you go to my Instagram. And I don't know, I tagged you, Tommy, but I didn't know. Michael, there's a lot of Michael Larkin, so I don't know if Michael, if you're on Instagram.
I'll send it to you after we're done. No
Then,
problem.
I can tag it. Yeah.
I got
Yep.
you.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
God, that just means the world to me. I mean, I could go on and on and on and say that again and again.
Yeah. Watch it. You guys are in it. I was talking about this podcast today. So, yeah.
Nice. Look at that, Michael. I'm getting promos before the show's even started. Look at
Yeah.
that.
See,
Yep.
I know. See, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't take that much time or effort to be kind and considerate of people. I do not like bullying. I'm a huge advocate over bullying people. I don't like it at all. I don't like seeing nastiness on the internet.
Right.
Horrible. We've all been
Right.
bullied. I was, and it's not nice. I just, you know why people do it. When you figure out why they're doing it, I feel sorry for them.
But it doesn't make it easier to deal with when you're the target either. And so there's a very, it's very visceral. You find out, later on in life, they did that because they're having their own issues, which probably had nothing to do with you. You just became the target.
Mm-hmm.
That's how those people operate. And it's, again, you feel sorry for those people. Because they felt the need for attention and human interaction so bad that it comes off in a negative way. And you just kind of hope that those people have a turnaround at some point and realize.
Well, I think hopefully most people do. And that's why I always say, and what's the most important thing that we always say? Be kind.
Oh, I thought it was get off my lawn. Oh, well, I tried.
You're a comedian too now.
Michael will tell you I don't know that I'm a comedian, but I certainly am becoming well known for being a little bent. And I think as an artist, you kind of have to be. I mean, when I was in Vegas for the Women Athletes on Fire event, and I'm at the after party, and there's Jolene Hex standing there, who is one of my most featured models in my art stuff. And she's kind of side-eyeing me, and I'm side-eyeing her. So I get out of the chair that I was in, and I walked over to her, and she's just politely standing there, and she kind of smiled at me. And I looked at her and I said, "Hey, Jolene, I just wanted to let you know you're standing in my spot." To which I found myself in a world's quickest headlock.
Hey, what happened?
Yeah. She looked at me for about a second and said, "What?" And she's got this smile that just like lights up. So she knew that I was just messing around anyway, but she just kind of, "What?" And I just told her, I said, without cracking a smile or anything, I'm like, "Well, you're kind of where I was going to stand. So, if you could."
Oh, that's so funny. You're kind of stand.
What he's referring to here, folks, is at the Women's Athletes on Fire event. I'm going to paint this picture because you're missing one intricate detail here, Mr. Tommy Bell. So what Tommy decided to do here, folks, was to quote my grandmother, God rest her soul. She was being, as the Italian word is, a scucciamens, if you will, and he decided to go over and say what he said to Jolene X and just, yeah, you got yourself in a headlock, man. Headlocking, pop locking, dropping, if you will. That's what happened to you, Mr. Tommy Bell.
Well, and I will say that was not the only time that happened with somebody. So I was in a lot of different headlocks. Everybody knew I was joking, but at the same time, they're like, "We're going to do something to this dude."
Yep.
It's such a great time out there.
That's
and everybody
great.
was so excited to see me. I was really blown away by that.
Was that in June?
Yes.
I was in the south of France during that time, and I was going to go over there, but for my birthday, I decided I'm going to take off and go to Europe and see some places I hadn't seen. So
beautiful.
Pretty cool.
That's insanely cool.
Yes,
That's
I told
insanely cool.
I said, "I'm so sorry." I said, "But I'm going to be in the south of France." And it was amazing. The food, tremendous.
I bet.
So good. Yep. It was really good.
Well,
wow. Awesome.
Take a look there, everybody. This is as far as I think I'm going to take it on this episode of Sketchy and Funny. Beautiful. Because I've finished the hair, and I think I reached a point where if I mess around with it more, something going to go wrong, whatever. Yep. And so there's always a rule with art. When you reach a certain stage and you really like what's happening, step away. And so I really like that hair. Let's take a look at. That's not bad. I mean, again, it's not the exact color, but I didn't, in art world, you're going to.
I like it better.
So we've got the wall over here that we'll be working on in the background and the sarcophagus. And of course, these are going to be white, but I'm going to put some shading in there so that they look three-dimensional instead of just, kind of hanging on there. I just kind of penned them in really fast when I was trying to map out where did I want the wrappings and where did I not want to. And I knew with having you as the mummy, I wanted about this much wrappings. So I was like, okay,
it's so
let's
great.
peel them off. Ironically, though, I think you have more on in the drawing than you do in the actual photograph. Just saying.
I dig it. I want that costume. I gotta find a costume somewhere. It's beautiful.
Right.
Thank
I'm gonna
you.
give this a quick dust off here, and then I'm gonna turn the camera on myself.
Okay.
And we'll wrap this up.
Oh, I dig it.
How about that?
That's freaking insane. I can't wait till it's done.
I love Halloween. This has turned out to be a great drawing, great project with a great lady. Everybody, I'm telling you right now, this is Tommy Bell coming full circle. Look, right there. It is. It's just absolutely so cool to be able to be working on this project.
Go one more time. Oh, yeah. Woo! Damn, you're good.
It's just so fun.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Well, thank you for being on Sketchy and Funny, Hollywood. I just, again, thank you a million times. And of course, we got to thank one more time Mr. Michael Larkin for being the voice of reason.
All righty.
You guys, awesome. Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. And I'll put this into the universe. The last thing we'll say here. Tomico versus Hollywood. Jennifer Thomas, aka Jenny Bloody Valentine versus Tomico. Sean, book it. Let's go. Let's get Hollywood up in the LFC rankings, baby.
I want to see Hollywood and Tomico. That would be, now that's worth the drawing right there.
That's a good one.
Sean, if you're listening, that's worth the drawing right there.
That's it. Woo! I love it.
It's just a laid
Thank you for listening to another edition of Tommy Bell Art Sketchy and Funny. Follow Tommy Bell on all forms of social media, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Tommy Bell Art. Tommy Bell Art Sketchy and Funny is now on Spotify and on the VIP section of the official LFC Lingerie Fighting Championships website. Follow our guest Hollywood at Glow Hollywood on Twitter, official Glow Hollywood on Instagram, and to check out Hollywood soaps, go to www.hollywoodbotanica.com for more information. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
It ain't nothing but a laid back vibe. It ain't nothing but a laid back vibe.